Welcome to my tutorial on how to draw Ariel. This is her right here, the finished piece. Just a warning, when you start watching, this is a step-by-step tutorial. This isn't, perfect. It's for beginners, just, the basic shape of what she is. When you first start, there's just going to be these circles and stuff. And even though you've probably worked with that kind of stuff doing skeletal form before, it doesn't look like Ariel when you first start. So if it looks like this weird oblong head, alien looking thing with little circle eyes, don't get discouraged. This is what it looks like when it's done. So I hope you enjoy it. There is some slight background noise in the very beginning of the video, but it goes away after a few minutes. I fix it. So I hope you enjoy. Hey, welcome to my first how-to video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to draw Ariel from The Little Mermaid. You're going to want to start with a basic circle. And then Ariel has these really poofy cheeks like every Disney character has. So her cheek's gonna start kind of towards the bottom of the circle over here on the side, and it's gonna come out more. The same over here. And she's facing this direction, so her profile line is gonna be like that. So you can see how her cheek's coming in more to this direction. And then it's going to curve back out like that. So, the basics of what her head should kind of look like. Put her ear right in there, right where that line is. We've got her basic head shape. And right here where the tip of her ear is, define that a little bit better, make it darker. From there to this corner right here is where you want to make her eye line come in like that. So there's her eye line. And for this eye, because she's looking in this direction, her head's facing more to the left, you're going to want this eye to be kind of scrunched over here. You don't want it perfectly in the middle or anything. You're going to want to have the circle for her pupil right against this line and right against the side of her head. And then because she's looking more up, over here, have it up a little bit more centered. These are pupils. Bring her nose. She has just this general nose shape. Kind of comes out, comes back down. She has a nostril here. And this isn't going to be perfect. This is just a really quick sketch of her. We're just going to put a mouth line there, and we'll go back to that because we're not going to detail that right now. For her hair, well, actually, let's do her neck and shoulders first. Okay, so you see that her face comes down in this general shape that I've given. So we're going to start over here closer to the ear, and we're going to give her her neck lines. Darken up. Now I'm going to darken where her face is so that these lines aren't as... Actually, I'm just going to lighten it a little bit so you can still see it. But I'm going to darken the important parts because I made a lot of stray lines. Mouth line. This isn't like her mouth. This is just the line where her mouth should be. Alright, there we go. That looks a little cleaner. her shoulder in the specific shot kind of comes up. And that goes down. And for her hair, she has this really big fringe. Let's see. Here's her eyebrow. So we're gonna start about like mid, not exactly mid, but a little bit over where her nose stops, up here. I'm gonna go about halfway-ish up the face, and then we're gonna give her her big fringe that she has right there, but don't bring it all the way behind her head because it doesn't exactly go like a centimeter from that, or well, I don't know how big you're drawing it, so proportionally not much room. Kind of bring that in and just, I'm not going to give much detail to it, but right now we're just going to kind of throw the shape on there, and we'll go back later. That's, like I said, this is just the general shape, so don't take this, you know, as the serious piece right now. In fact, we don't even really need this line in here because I'm going to go back and fix that. If there was any background noise beforehand, I'm sorry about that. And just kind of bring her hair out in this big, floofy thing. Her hair's, you know, underwater, it's kind of flowy. Alright, so you have her basic hair shape. The pose I'm doing, she has her hand against her jaw, like she's bracing on her hand. So you're gonna throw, it's kind of a square shape, just to get the shape in there, and we'll go back and fix it. Kind of like that. And then add her rest of her arm over here. And that's way too much. I don't think you'll really be using all of that. But for her bra, you'll want to start kind of about that far down and start drawing in the circle-ish area for her clamshell bra. And then kind of points towards the middle and then starts up again this way. So my video died, unfortunately, but I was able to notice before I got too far. The only thing I did was fix her hair, which I just kind of brought it down, and then this line should come in contact with the circle that made up her head, and then you just bring the rest of her hair off, and then flowy motion. Gave her this really big flowy look. So that's your basic, add her shoulder in over here. That's basically her shape, but that's not really her, you know, detail or anything. There's still a lot to do for detail. I'm gonna go ahead and finish off her hair over here. Alright, so now we've got our little mermaid. Body and shape. So now we're actually going to start with the details on her face. So where this first eye is over here, you're just going to want to, where this line is that makes up her eye line, you're going to want to add in just a kind of a circle-ish curvy line right under there. And then you're going to do the same thing over here, but don't make it curve up as much on this side because we're going to do something with this side, since you can actually see more of this side of the eye, because we're seeing more of this side of her face. So, but you can go ahead and curve the line downward and then bring it up. And then you're going to want to start up here towards the top and bring it down. Like, make it kind of look like a point over here. And bring her eye up, more oblong. And go ahead and thicken in that line. Make it nice and dark. And then kind of the same thing over here. This is also where her nose is. So go ahead and bring her nose down and darken that in. And from her nose, you'll come up here and you'll give her her eyebrows. They're not connected, but just, you know, proportionally, her nose would come up and eyebrow. And then just go over here, looking at that one, and kind of give her this one. Now you got your eyebrows in there, and you can go ahead and start thickening this line. So you've got her eye shape. Now, with this circle you originally had, she's looking up in this pose. So the circle, the bottom of the circle shouldn't be touching the line that you've just created. So take the bottom of that circle and then bring it all the way up into her eye. Like that. And then circle it around. And you should have something that looks like that. And then do the same thing over here. And go ahead and bring her eye a little bit over it. So her eye comes over. And then you have her main line. You're going to want to start right over there, close to the line, and bring it more out and away from it. Over here, you're going to want to start right at it because she's facing this direction, and then just like that. And then you have her lids, and then you can just kind of do some upward motions, or downward for me because facing her, and throw some eyelashes in there. And they don't have to be perfect, you can make them kind of sloppy. So go ahead and erase the little circles that you might have had, the lines that were inside her eyes. And go ahead and make where her pupils would be on the inside, a little smaller circle inside the bigger circle. And just shade that in. Don't worry about making it too dark, because if you make it too dark, it'll be hard to erase. And you're going to want to erase later to give her the little reflections in her eyes. And then you can just gently just erase her little facial lines. You don't need those anymore. You got her eyes in there, and her nose is in there. So keep the mouth line. You're going to want to use that for reference when you put her lips in there. So, like I said, this isn't going to look perfect. It's just a basic tutorial on how to draw her, like just learning the steps. It doesn't, you know, so you can do it in your own style. It doesn't have to be exactly the way I do it, just so that you know what her shape is, how you would draw her if you decided to draw her more often. So on to her lips. Let me fix her hair, sorry. She's smiling in this picture, and her lips are actually, her upper lip is actually really close to her nose. But it's because she's smiling, so her lips are obviously much bigger than usual because she's smiling. But you're going to want to come over here and start at this line. Actually, this line should be just a bit curved. Curve it up a little bit, and you're going to want to start where this line starts to curve up. Where her tip of her nose is, go down towards her hand, and where it crosses with this curve is about where you want that side of her mouth to start. And then she's smiling, and it's going to kind of come up. So about right here is about the sides of where her mouth's going to be. I'm going to go ahead and erase those outer lines so that you can see that. The line that's actually going to make up her mouth, and you can see where I gave you your little proportional line. So that's where her mouth should be. And that looks kind of derpy. Just being there like that, but she doesn't have lips that, you know, where your typical lips might come up and come down, how a lot of people draw lips. No, she doesn't really have that. She has more of this curve up than, so they're kind of weird, but on her they're still really pretty. So you're gonna curve it up a little, kind of close to her nose, but not too close, and just bring it right back down to where it's flat against, like, kind of angles up and turns into her lip. And then go ahead and bring this down. And don't start over here on this side. Her upper lip, you know, she's facing this direction, so this lip's gonna poke out more. So I'd start about where her lips actually curves up at this high point. That's where I would put the beginning of that part of her lip. And this line in the middle actually isn't her lip line. It was just the reference line, so you can erase that line. And she's smiling, of course, so you're gonna just bring this in kind of like that. There's her upper lip, and then there's her bottom lip. So it's really up to you how thick you make her lips. As long as they're the right shape, you know, it's not gonna really matter. You can make them a little bit thicker, which is what I'm gonna do. And then she has this really subtle smile. It's not perfect. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of her head shape up here where her hair is. I'm gonna cut her off about right there because her arms are really long. Alright, to work on her, actually let's work on her hands. A lot of people have trouble drawing hands. Now, the first thing you're going to think is you're going to want to erase that line and just look at the outline, but no. These lines are actually really, really important to keep. There's only going to be very few things you're going to end up erasing. But this is basically the exact shape. So don't go all the way over, but put a line right there, because this is a finger right here. And then these are two fingers. And her bra, starting from right here in the middle, you're going to want to come up and follow very closely to that circular shape that you put there earlier. And then you're going to just want to bring it down, almost like a bow shape, and then stop right there. And then just come up here and do just a small one and bring it right into the middle. And then come from the middle and right in there. And make another bow shape, except kind of the other direction. And bring it back to the middle. And then do what you did on the other side. And just kind of do a small one and bring that into the middle. And then her little strappity. that she's got. And then just add some lines. You basically got what she's supposed to look like. Oh God, that didn't happen. I think she looks pretty decent. As far as details go, this is basically her. Now if you want to go in and clean her up, very, very lightly, just get rid of the stray marks here and there. And then just kind of darken her with maybe a darker color. And then we'll actually see what she really looks like standing out. And now just don't follow those circles you had earlier. Just follow the flow of the lines you've made, because that makes a big difference when you're drawing. Forget all about the lines that were there and look exactly what you've now put on this paper, and it really, really brings out the real creation of what you've done. See, like just a minute ago my lines came in and then they pointed out, and now there's just this really gentle curve of where her face is. So be confident with the lines you make. Do it smooth and semi-fast. You don't have to be so careful anymore because your lines are already there. They're already pretty. You've got them set there. Of course, she looks a little rough because I'm not trying to do this perfect. She's got sketches. I'm doing really quick, small strokes here, but I'm going to kind of shade in this area where her hair is. The rest of this video, I'm just going to shade her. And I don't really know how to really instruct you on shading because it's shading. So you can just kind of watch.